Yeah. Overseas with it. Niggas claim they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah, niggas think they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah. Slipping on my pimpin', nigga, never that. Always had more women than bitches, nigga, roger that. Money is the root of all evil, get the fuck back. We've been brainwashed from a fetus just to get scrapped, scratch that. Now I'm on a mission just to get dope. Physical or crypto, from the 9 to 5 or a kick dough. When shit get cold, like the hometown of Klitschko. Vladimir, your boys out of here with the sick flow. Now I ain't no rushing, but I'm rushing through this budget. I turn the booth into a gun, raise the way I'm busting. I caught the whole onion, then I got it from my cousin. In and out of traffic, toe tagger, we be hustling. I understand and shine first and realize your time worth. Can't be rich until you enrich your mind first. But I'ma be ignorant with my black ass and probably swipe my black card to blind black man. Yeah. Niggas say they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah. Niggas say they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah. That moolah, that cheese, that fettuccine, that guala is what a nigga after, so holla at me tomorrow. I'm looking for investors to throw some bread at the startup. Straight to the top, I'm cream of the crop with the product. Money isn't everything, but in this society, you gotta have funds to have fun, so don't lie to me. 153 million the fucking lottery. World keeps spinning, I just mold it like fucking pottery. Fuck that poverty shit, my niggas gotta get rich. Hip hop over everything like hippopotamus clicks. Niggas wanna hate, that be on some anonymous shit. People wanna relate, they wanna be a part of my clique. We are not with the shits, the toilet did not get fixed. All less fail, every door come off the hinge. $1 million in my bank account, the sweet is revenge. 75% in the savings, making some sense. Niggas say they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah. Niggas claim they hot, where that money at? Niggas then ran up in your spot, where that money at? Strippers don't know you in the spot, where that money at? Fuck you, and that fake watch, where that money at? Yeah.
Yeah. Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee. Man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing a house, and I'm coming to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. Hey, Bobby banging this bitch. What's good, family? Saturday morning. Y'all know what it is, man. Hey, man, hit that Cash App often and early, man. Appreciate the good vibes coming your way, man. So I wanted to go back a little bit in the archives, because we've been having this conversation for damn near 4 years now, right? And there was a point in the conversation where everybody was acting like they didn't understand how the elders were saying the Egyptians was African, and then they would say they was black, right? And they was making the term synonymous. Dr. Bennett on it was doing that, right? And then when you bring in the aspect of, well, let's just deal with biology, let's deal with it, anthropology, that we will no longer use the term black or white because it's actually pseudoscientific. So I want to take y'all back to where we hashed that all the way out, and we were saying, all right, that shit foolery, yo. I said it just like that. I said, all right, using the term black is foolery. And from that point going forward, I said, I will not use that term, right? Because y'all can't handle that term. There's a time and space for that term. It fits in time and chronology. So I wanted to show you the moment where we got to that point, where it was mixed up wasn't quite clear. And I was like, okay, we won't use that no more. We'll just keep it scientific and understand it's a social construct. That was about 2 years ago. And so as a teacher, you got to make sure you clear. And I heard it. I was like, oh, they trying to play with that. They was mixing it with the African, right? The black, and then the black, then the African, then the Middle East. Well, you know they not. Black people come from the Middle East. And I was like, oh, I wanted to show you in real time how we hashed that out, right? Interesting conversation. And then I want to move to Jabri. Interesting. I'm going to let him tell you in his own words. We had a great conversation. It was on Silent. It was a good one, right? Kind of got him so we could kind of, and it was an interesting piece on what he said. And he was talking about the Libyans, and I don't even know if I'm going to make it that far. I want to be able to make it that far. Let me get right into it. Man, everybody put that cash up in there and show some love, man. The energy, you know what I'm saying, is what is black people is actually a racialized term, yo. So we need to really recognize that. And if you go back in time, you'll see that Dr. Benjamin was fighting for their Africanness and then saying he was black. So when you use the term black, there is no clarity on that. Because like I said, the majority of people have brown skin on planet Earth. Light browns, dark browns, that's the majority of the people because they live in those areas, right, where the UVA rays, zone 1, zone 2, that's where most people live at. And then you get outside of that, the zone 1s, right? Start getting further up in Europe and those areas, right? So it's a confusing term. And it's a racialized term, all the above, right? That's why there's a lot of confusion in this damn community, man. Crazy, right? So once you separate, so I want to come to page 11, Cambridge Elements. We've been reading this for 4 years, right? I remember Brother Reggie sent me a PDF on it. And see, a lot of times Reggie gets skipped over when it comes to this, right? Because we share notes back and forth. Might not seem like it now because he didn't went in the direction. You got to let him explain the direction. But right here, it said ethnic identities in the land of Pharaoh. So we got to always get the base, right? Remove the term black. It's a racialized term. And then you can't tell, whoa, who is black? It is light-skinned people black? No, you mean with the features. What features are we talking about? See, that was the racism that they pushed on us. You would have to have the big nose, the big lips, the peppercorn hair. You had to be the Negro. You're talking about the West Africans because that's where they went first. They was the original Negroes. Anyway, we went through a lot of history on that. So you come to page 10, jump right in. It says, being Egyptian and being foreign over 3,000 years of ethnogenesis. Trying to figure out what makes you an Egyptian. No, he wasn't. No, you're right with that, Chef. No, you're right. And he wasn't confused, but y'all niggas was. Here we go. So here you go. Egyptian could be anyone who inhabited the urban zones of the Nile Valley. You got to inhabit the urban zones of the Nile Valley. Not the desert areas, but the urban zones. Okay? In the Nile Valley. It says, spoke Egyptian language, worshiped Egyptian gods, and was loyal to the Egyptian state, no matter if he or she was born in Egypt or not. So that's who could be an Egyptian. All the color thing and all that ain't what make you an Egyptian. So we got that. And it's well sourced. You have Asaman, 1996, page 97. You got Espil, 2006, page 454. And you got Moores, 2001, page 177. That's 3 sources right there. Goes on to say the Egyptian language was seen as one of the main criteria of Egyptianness since at least the beginning of the 2nd millennium BCE. And even the Greek historian Herodotus writes that the Egyptians are those who live downriver from Elephantine and drink the Nile water. The foreigners of those who do not speak their language. That will be Kremazel, 1993, page 183. It's coming from this thing right here. All right. Let me see how we started off. Did we start off with some energy? Anthony Bowman. Man, I appreciate that love right there, bro. All right. Eric Gardner. Man, I appreciate that love. Mr. Torres, you always in that game, yo. All right. Let's see. 1 second. Hmm. Huh. Let's get you the video. I don't know what you're talking about, Chef. I'm going to play that clip. This is where we realize we ain't even going to use the word black no more. I'm going to start it right here. All right. And so it's about refining the conversation. And I would like to make this point. I think this is important here, that learning information is important. Being stuck is horrible for this community. You have to have growth and development. That's important, right? And being able to correctly put out the information is important. Being in a state of confusion is wild. And that term black is very confusing. Very confusing. It has stereotypes attached to it. It's racialized term and should never be used on the ancient people because it's confusion. And the thing that's horrid is that people actually claim that ancient people use that. Wrong. Can't never prove it. Talk that talk though, but they can't never prove it. So grace and elegance is needed and nuance is needed in conversation. Certain certain readings need to happen, prerequisites, things that you got to understand to have the conversation. Because if you're talking in the sense of anthropology, you should never throw the jet lag, back leg nonsense in that conversation. If you're having an anthropological conversation, then you're actually giving the names that are in the text for these individuals in these populations, right? Or anthropologists like to use the names that the indigenous people use themselves. And you should never bring forth terms from your time period all the way back to BC times. That's not handling the situation proper. That's why you will never hear anthropologists, today's anthropologists, do that, because it's not actually helping. If you say, but what's black people, right? People with dark brown skin. Then you get the areas where people don't have dark brown skin, like in the Khoisan, like when you go to North Africa, certain elements in North Africa, the Berbers, right? The Berbers are African. People don't like to say that the Berbers are African, but they actually are. They're indigenous population in Africa. They don't look like me and you. They don't look like the way you want them to look. They don't look black. So when you start saying, well, everybody in Africa is black, right? Watch this. Well, if everybody in Africa is black, then you got to include North Africans, right? You got to include the Berbers. You say, well, wait a minute. Watch this. Look at their skin. Then you'll say, well, no, the dark-skinned people are in sub-Saharan Africa. See how did you? Wait a minute. What about Libya? Libya intersects there. It's a line that goes, well, they Nubians don't even look like West Africans. See how confusing that is? I think people have to do that shit on purpose. I think they actually do that. They actually do that shit on purpose. To keep us in confusion, then double back. Well, they black. Well, they black. Now, I learned this from this video right here in real time. Man, we got to get the foolishness. That's what I said, using the term black. I said, that's foolishness. Yeah. You on this clip right here, Chef. Let me get right to it. Let me share my screen. All right. Right, I don't know what the hell. I'm gonna just run. Damn. Oh no. I remember all right, let me let this rock real quick. Hold on. All right. It's a good show. American Dream, man. You know you cannot get in the server, yo, without camming up one time, yo. Yeah, that's why you can't get in the server. The Hootie Mayat was good. Ancient History, what it do? Gala, Valsa, Nicola, Gala, what it do? JD, what's up with you? Hey, American Pan African design. Joe, what's good with you? Who were dark skin in ancient history? Nah, they weren't all dark skin. All the Berbers weren't dark skin. And we're gonna get into that. I hope I got enough time, man. Let me move quicker than this, man. Hold on, yo. I got to move quicker than this, yo. Damn. Let me just play this. All right. You all play the material before your enemies play it. That's how you do it. This one right here. Here we go. We walk through here without fear, yo, of nothing we said. Simple as that.
No questions on his masonry, right?
Can we get everybody on the pseudo killers on record?
You already did.
Yeah, Corey Cosmic. He's in Cosmic.
What about Cedric? What about Cedric?
Oh, Cedric with us. I don't got it.
Okay, so Cedric thinks they're black. Okay, what about CK?
Hey, ho. Let's address that word for a minute there, because you've been playing with that word. I don't like the way you play with that word.
That was his really initial claim, though.
Yeah, let's really address the word, though. So really, when back in the day when they were saying black, they was talking about Africans. Then all of a sudden, right, when they realized that Egypt was in Africa, then half of Africa was just black people. I remember that. They called it the dark continent, right? And in the midst of their racism, niggas came from the dark continent, nowhere else. Then when they got there and seeing them great monuments and all that shit, rising and breasted in them, then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? It was they ain't black no more. They half black. Oh, half of it, they put a line there and say, right there with Egypt style, oh, that's it. Everybody else is black, they not black. So the conversation about they not black was really saying that they not African. And that's why people confused, right? So black was really a synonymous with African, bro. So let's, for the standpoint of science, right? We'll just take the confusing term out of it, because when I say black, I actually mean African, right? But so it won't be confused, right? I don't want to deal with the racial connotations, right? So we'll just say African. Okay, so at this point, when Chief X makes the statement, well, who think they black? And I say, ho, let's clear that word up. So I start to recognize that they was using that word to play real wild games. When in the actuality, everybody knows damn well the conversation was about, was these people African or Middle Eastern? Everybody knows that. So they use the term black to play the wildest game ever on y'all. And I say, oh, I see where it's at. I see. And I give you the history of how Rising and all them felt that in Africa, they was Negroes. They was black. And then when they got to certain areas and seeing people that didn't look like what they perceived to be black, they was like, oh, they Middle Eastern people. They outsiders. And that's where they get their idea of, well, the invading race theory. I believe that to be breasted. Because they said, these people don't look like what we think is black. Then they're a different group of people. When in actuality, those people that had lighter skin that they seen didn't necessarily had to be invaders. They was indigenous to, like the Berbers. The Berbers are indigenous to Africa. They may have a little different type of mix in ancient times, prehistoric times, but essentially they're considered to be indigenous people. And so the word black was loosely thrown around in our conversations. I was like, nah, hold on. Y'all know I'm talking about African. Let's finish the clip. This is where we start saying, well, I know we start saying, okay, I'm going to get away from the term black. I'm getting away from that. No, I don't mean black like African Americans. See, that's the game they was playing. Oh, you saying the African Americans? I've never said to the African Americans, but they would get you with the term black. So they made me realize, yo, that the word black can have any definition you wanted to have. It can apply to African Americans. It can apply to people in Oceania. It can apply to people in Egypt, if that's what you want to do. It can apply to people in Australia. It can apply to people in Russia that have browner skin. You can throw that shit all around, and it's very confusing. Let me run it back again to make sure we got this right here to show you when it changed. There you go. Run it back just a little bit more, a little bit. Let's see real quick. They always use your words against you, so you might as well just play it and get it straight. Oh. Yeah, now let's really address the word, though. So really, when back in the day when they were saying black, they was talking about Africans. Then all of a sudden, right, when they realized that Egypt was in Africa, then half of Africa was just black people. I remember that. They called it the dark continent, right? And in the midst of their racism, niggas came from the dark continent, nowhere else. Then when they got there and seeing them great monuments and all that shit, rising and breasted in them, then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? It was they ain't black no more. They half black. Oh, half of it, they put a line there and say, right there with Egypt style, oh, that's it. Everybody else is black, they not black. So the conversation about they not black was really saying that they not African. And that's why people confused, right? So black was really a synonymous with African, bro. So let's, for the standpoint of science, right? We'll just take the confusing term out of it, because when I say black, I actually mean African, right? But so it won't be confused, right? I don't want to deal with the racial connotations, right? So we'll just say African. So you say, like you said, depending on what the time is, right? So around 3000 BCE, 4000 BCE, right? You got some people that migrated in from the Mediterranean and whatever you're saying. You all on tape.
Ankh, you off, Ankh. You off, bro.
You're all off.
3,000? Yeah, Ankh. Hold on, let me say this, Chief X. And that's cool. I'm cool with your stance, Ankh. If that's, you know, the one that you want to take. I'm not here to, listen. I let you talk. You know what I mean? I'm not here to shape nobody's argument, right? But if I'm gonna be, somebody got a echo going. If I'm a be in the conversation, right? And you know, if you lumping me in with everybody else, then right. So you gotta be clear. Yeah. Now hold on. Because you said that African back then was synonymous.
When they was enslaving
okay, so you saying African was synonymous with being black.
They called the black continent.
Cool. Now,
when they was enslaving people, they called them Africans and Negroes. Exactly what they did. That shouldn't be up for debate, but people will do that though, to get you off really what you're saying, to fake you up, fake you out, play the whole game. Let's continue.
Hold on, but that's not your issue, is it? When we say black, right?
My issue is
no, come on.
Science and biology. That's my issue.
I'm trying to understand Chevron. Let him.
Yeah.
Nah, hey, Chief X, yo, you. Matter of fact, you ain't pay that bounty.
Come on, Unc.
Why you on Chief X head? Because he said there wasn't no sub-Saharan Africans in Egypt. And he himself proves that by claiming the Nubians were sub-Saharan African. Said there was no nappy-head people in Egypt. And he put some money on it and he lost. So I'm not even never trying to hear what he's saying. So if you're looking at this video for the first time, you say, oh, he's cutting them off. No, I'm not. I really can't tolerate a nigga that bet you and then don't pay and keep running their mouth. Hard to tolerate a person like that. So I have low level tolerance and I really don't want to hear what he's saying. I'm not actually interested in it. Let's keep this moving.
Are we gonna have a conversation tonight?
He not gonna let me. He not gonna let me get clarity. He not.
Yeah, you clarity because you're trying to muddy the waters.
I'm not, yo. You fuck
it is.
All
You
right,
faking
do you,
everybody
do
out.
you, yo?
Because
Do
you'll
you,
say
yo?
they're African and then talk about
So
all the
you'll let,
outside.
so we let you talk. We let you talk, but you won't let nobody else talk.
Yeah, I don't think the audience heard his point yet because he was just interrupted.
So what, nigga?
I'm just trying to I want to have a conversation. I'm trying to understand everybody.
You ain't barely supposed to be on here. You supposed to pay that money.
Okay, so I shouldn't understand people. Okay, go ahead. We don't need no understanding.
Go ahead, Chef.
No, yo,
I was
just go ahead.
definitely rude.
Do what you gonna do, yo.
I was definitely cut off artist there. Definitely that.
Oh, we got a back chat for all of this, yo. I want you to make your point because you don't care if you understand somebody else's point. You got your no. We can do that in the back chat.
Explain it. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute out. Get it off.
All right. So what I'm saying is, you understand that it's just not what we call black people in Africa, right? Reggie understand that it's just not black people in Africa. So our conversation didn't move past the 1600s.
So whatever kind of people in Africa then, Chef?
What?
Yeah, what other people in Africa before other people start migrating?
The Berbers in them, they not black.
They've been there forever, nigga.
Right.
What? They black.
Fuck it.
If you want to do that, they
not. They African. They're African, but they're not black, yo.
So then let's get. Watch this. So
God damn.
I'm gonna say it again, bro.
And everybody in the community agree with that, though. You know that, right? So hold on. Hey, chat. Y'all know y'all agree. Everybody believe that the Berbers and those North Africans, before we start having this conversation, we all believe that the Berbers were a part of an invading population of non-black people. So it's no way y'all can sit here now and say that they are.
I can't speak for everybody else, but we've been recognized that the Berbers was African and indigenous. 10 years ago, we've been realizing. I don't know about the rest of the community. Simple as that. So let's keep moving. So you can be African, indigenous in Africa, and be African. And I'm telling you, the confusion is the term black. Watch it. Watch this. That's when I knew I needed to clean all that up. Watch this. Here you go.
Black.
You talking to me?
No. What?
Yeah, me.
You believe?
This is what I'm saying. It's not a belief.
Listen,
generally speaking,
we're arguing over beliefs.
To be black. And since I don't want to enact the silly shit, right? So for biological reasons, right? We don't have to use black and white in this conversation.
Well, that's our conversation. No, that's our conversation, though.
So really, y'all were just being silly the whole time.
How's that being silly?
Hold on, because in biology, there is no race of black people or white people in biology.
We talk about black and white all the time. So now you don't understand it?
It's a social construct, bro.
So what?
It's not a so what. So we're talking about biological organisms. When we talk about people of the Nile.
The thing about it, Ankh, it's hard to even have this conversation if we can't distinguish human beings. And if
So we stop right there. So see how they can keep running it back and forth? When the real conversation is these people African? That's the real conversation. But the word black will throw, whoa, hold on. They not black. They African. They not. Can't use that. Now that's where we at. And this was damn near 3 years ago. And that was the point. That's why you will never hear me use that word anachronistic ever again. Because it makes no sense. And we argued over that shit like it was crazy. Now you got people trying to add on to that shit. Oh, I see people chatting out. Oh, the Berbers ain't black, right? Nigga, ain't nobody black before colonialism. See, I had to sharpen my shit all the way up. Now they all fucked. Now it's razor sharp. I will stay having an anthropological conversation. I will stay saying that. I will keep saying it's an anachronism. Prior to colonialism, those people wasn't referred to as that. Those people themselves didn't refer to themselves as that. Yes, the Berbers are indigenous African people, regardless of what the racialized terms you want to apply to them. No, they black. No, they white. No, they green. No, they purple. That's the confusion. And it was a smoke screen they was using. Chef was using the smoke screen. Chief X was using the smoke screen. Because at the end of the day, they know the real conversation was these people indigenous to Africa? Was they indigenous Africans? That was always the real conversation. And they hid it under that wild term black. And it was confusion. We went back and forth. And that's when I say, nah, yo, that's foolishness. I'm not using that term anymore. That's foolishness. Let me run it back again, make sure we got this straight. So now you're on the moment. I was like, nah, it's too much wiggle room for them on that. They playing this. They playing with us. Let me go back.
And say that they are black.
You talking to me though.
No. What?
Yeah. So I'm saying you talking to me, yo. You know what I'm saying. But you keep easing the word black in there on it. You talking to me, Chef. You know what I mean, bro. I'm saying they're indigenous Africans. And I told you how Rising and all them made indigenous Africans synonymous with black. They played a little game. That was a little game. And then when they realized that Egypt, right, had different variety of people, and then all of a sudden, yo, they started putting separation on what African was and what it wasn't, to the point where they say these skulls right here had to come from someplace else to build this civilization. They said it like these non-black people built that. See that word confusion again. This is during these times of scientific racism. Now, once you clear all of that up, the scientific racism up, and the scholars get it straight, and the scientific community get it straight, then you will have an argument that will last forever if the people in these communities keep using the term black, because you really get no understanding out of what ancient Egypt was, what ancient Ghana was, what ancient populations in South Africa, East Africa was, as long as you keep playing with that term that can fit on anybody, right, that ain't from quote unquote Europe, anybody that's darker than what you feel they should be. You will never get an understanding of it, and that's why we keep fighting. That's the point. But right here, I understood that. I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going at. Here you go.
And me. You believe?
This is what I'm saying. It's not a belief.
Listen,
generally speaking,
we're arguing over beliefs.
To be black. And since I don't want to enact the silly shit, right? So for biological reasons, right? We don't have to use black and white in this conversation.
Well, that's our conversation. No, that's our conversation, though.
So really, y'all were just being silly the whole time.
How's that being silly?
Hold on, because in biology, there is no race of black people or white people in biology.
We talk about black and white all the time. So now you don't understand it?
It's a social construct, bro.
So what?
It's not a so what. So we're talking about biological organisms. When we talk about people of the Nile.
The thing about it, Ankh, it's hard to even have this conversation if we can't distinguish human beings. And if everybody is just all one, we all the world, why even to have this conversation? Then everybody's the same. Human beings are just human beings. So we can't even have a conversation if we're going to go off that point right now.
Absolutely.
The whole point is to distinguish who the Egyptians are from sub-Saharan African.
Oh, we have to
use. Hold on. We have to use these terms. If we're gonna just say everybody's everybody and we all one human race, then this is not even a conversation.
Hey, right, but you're correct. You're correct, Chief X. So we do have terms. We have terms called ethnogenesis and ethnicity. We do have terms. We have culture.
But let me tell you this one thing, Reggie. Just check this out, because Ankh kind of made a bad context. When they were talking about Africa being the dark continent, they were specifically talking about sub-Saharan Africa, not all of Africa, because those people, Romans and Greeks, was doing business.
So in actuality, when they was talking about it being the dark continent, they was talking about they didn't know shit about it, mysterious to their motherfucking ass. And they were saying it was, the forests and the savannas, they had not explored it, and it was mysterious to them. Remember when they used the term dark is unknown. Absolutely, brother. Cool, Joe. Absolutely. Right? It was unknown to them. That's why they called it that. unknown, mysterious. Simple as that. So confusion all around us. This is the moment where, right, that confusion was unlocked. I say bet. So they know that I deal with biology. They know that I understand black as being a social construct. They know, they supposed to know they talking to me. But they play that and they use that and they tweaked it. I was like, oh, they will never use that against me again. You won't hear me use that again. Let's see when this video was made. This was exactly about past a year ago. I think it might even go back older than that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Stream live on March 18th, 2022. We're in 2024 now. Can y'all see that? There you go. It says stream live March 18th, 2022. That's like 2 years ago. Yep. I seen it. I'm like, all right. Them niggas supposed to know we know it's a social construct, yo. They supposed to know that. So now I know I'm super clear. Ain't no confusion in what I'm saying now. Because I can't suppose that people understand that I understand Charles Darwin's work, right? I understand scientific racism, how that's a racialized term. One of those racialized terms. I can no longer assume that. I thought they understood that. They was trying to play like I was saying Egyptians, if the Egyptians is black, watch this, and African American call themselves black, then that must mean that you're saying that the African Americans are Egyptians and all that, and they mix it and they played the game, took away from the strength and quality of the conversation with that. They know damn well I was never saying that. 15 years ago, I can pull up the video we was listening to Samantha Kiata. Did I say his name wrong? Anyway, keep going. And I play this video for another reason. Watch this, right? Because we got people like Jabri that keep saying that I was on Chief X side with the never was. Here you go. We right in the middle of the thick of it, right here. Here we go. Let us kick.
With North Africans. They live right by North Africans and Mediterranean people. So they when they was talking, they actually even named Africa. And you guys know this. So they named Africa. Okay. And they was naming it based off of dealing with North African peoples in the Mediterranean. Greece is right there next to North Africa. Italy, Rome is right there next to North Africa. So they weren't calling North Africans the dark country. Egypt was running shit. Okay. Then the Romans and Greeks came in. They weren't calling the Egyptians a dark people or dark country. Okay. So let's just clear that narrative up.
Are the Nubian sub-Saharan African people, Chief X?
You know what? Out of all of sub-Saharan Africa, the Nubians, I would say they're East African, but I do put them in the boat as sub-Saharan Africans because the African Union considers them sub-Saharan Africans. But the European unions consider it and sometimes place it in North Africa. So some people listen. Some people place Nubia or Sudan in North Africa. Some people place it in sub-Saharan Africa. I'm rolling with the African Union. They consider Nubia to be sub-Saharan Africa.
All right. Okay. So
but I'm not going to argue with nobody who wants to call it North Africa.
Your mic muted, Reggie. Your mic muted, Reggie.
What about ancient times? Let's get to not.
All right. Ancient times. The Greeks and the Romans said that everything south of Egypt was Ethiopia or the land of the black. So even they made the distinction also with that. So it's pretty much it's pretty simple. I'm just waiting for y'all to do what y'all gonna do because not only does modern, you know what I mean, or coming or early modern period describe the people south of Africa as being the black people, but the ancient writers did the same thing. So it's not a new thing of racism that we claim. This been going on, you know what I mean, since other people been traveling to Africa and making their accounts of it.
A lot of people played a race card to tap into your emotions. That's what Ankh did.
Your mic muted, Reggie. Reg, your mic. Go ahead.
I'm warming up. I'm at batters thing in the catches part of the stadium. So I'm just throwing lobs back and forth to Ankh, footballs and baseballs. So I just want to know from you the current information, the so-called consensus of 2022 says that you guys are right, and you are saying that you are the consensus. You are the up-to-date. Are you the up-to-date information in 2022? Not 1950, not 1965, not even UNESCO, 1974, not 1990s with civilization of barbarism or anything like that.
We
don't respect that. The consensus to not 1990, not 2015, 2016, 2021, 2022.
We got you, Reggie. We got you. The consensus in these days and times by 99% of scholars on the planet is that ancient Egyptians were neither black or white.
No, what? Yo, finish it off, yo. Finish it. You can't leave it right there.
What else? And they're North African.
No, they don't say that.
I mean, people say different things depending on what topic you're talking about.
He says that they say that they're North African.
Right.
He says the consensus says so. So the jury has heard the defendant. We are prosecuting.
So when I say North Africa, it's the same as saying Africa, but we're just being specific for the location of geography for understanding.
What can you just, for the jury's sake, because for the jury's sake, which is our people, can you just tell us what is one leading document that you have?
So think about it. That's a statement that was made in 1974, that they're not black or white, right? They are indigenous Africans. That was made in 1974. So then why all the beef then? What is Chief X saying differently if that's what he is saying? What's the issue then? It shouldn't be no issue now, should it? We should have rolled off into the damn sunset because they tricking. All them niggas is playing games. Because I said it back 15 years ago. They indigenous Africans, ranging in skin color. I bring forth the UNESCO document. I bring the daggone Wikipedia article. I ain't said nothing different than that. Get dragged into a sidebar conversation about what black mean, what it don't. But my fundamental understanding was, right, that they indigenous to Africa. Regardless of who came in and mixed over they still consider to be indigenous Africans, practicing the indigenous African culture, regardless of how they mix with anybody. That's been the fundamental understanding. How is it that man can say that they indigenous African? He only say, he said that they know, he likes to say they North Africans. Watch this. And ranging the skin color and play this game. Double X played the same game. That North Africans, they a different kind of special African. That's like saying that West Africans is a different kind of special Africans. How about the Khoi saying they a different kind of special Africans? When we simply can say that they are indigenous Africa to Northeast Africa because they are there. That is a Northeast African civilization, and they put the emphasis on Northeast African, so you can look at the different tribes and clans in that area, right, where you can get a good snapshot of what they would have looked like today. Because all you got to do is look at Northeast Africans, look at Ethiopia, look at Eritrea, right, look in Egypt today, and you can get a pretty good picture of what they would have looked like. Pretty good, you know, give or take, different admixtures. You can get there. Why would we have an issue? Because they're saying something else. Nobody will be mad if a nigga say, yeah, yo, they range in skin color, they indigenous Africans or indigenous Northeast Africans. I ain't even mad if you say North Africans. Bet you're leaving off a chunk. Bet we wouldn't be beefing like this. If everybody disagree right there, yo, what the hell would it be the argument? Because one side will keep running the black shit and make the African Americans that are claiming black Egyptians. Then the other side will say they're indigenous, but they come from Palestine or Judea. And their whole goddamn conversation is outside population. Craziest shit ever. Nobody can ever understand what we saying here. And I knew right here, I say, nah, man. That's foolery. I ain't using that foolery no more. Nah, that's foolery. So y'all seen the video. Run out of time here. But I get to a point right here. Let me play the video. Let me get to the point here. Here you go.
To say that what you're saying is true. I'll mute my mic.
So I need a document to prove that there is a North Africa.
No, Egypt is actually
like are we being serious? Are we being serious right now? Was that a serious question?
Yeah, you know, Egypt is really Northeast Africa, bro. It's not just the North African joint.
I mean, if you want to call it Northeast Africa, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm listen.
Yeah,
I drunk a little bit too much. I smoked a little bit too much. I'm gonna let you go.
Can I kill him?
Let me switch the screen to you. All right, we ready, everybody? Go ahead.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we familiar with this? This is the Brooklyn Museum, right? This is the Egyptian gallery on the 3rd floor. This is ancient Egyptian art, right?
Hey, Ankh, you gotta share your screen.
Okay. All right.
Because you know the museums don't mean shit. You don't need a library card when you're dealing with Chief X. You don't need a museum. You don't need education. You don't need any of that shit. So let's kill them slowly.
Kill them slowly. So in academia, the thing is, you really want to be a curator, or you really want to have your objects placed in a museum. And this is important. The museums are actually the standard. They're really warehouses of stolen African artifacts. And big up to Chancellor Williams, because Chancellor Williams told us that. So we enact Chancellor Williams right now. The destruction of Black civilization, great issues in race, from 4,500 BCE, tells us, if you want to study African history, go to the goddamn museums in Europe, right? In the United States. So we right here, right? So right here, right? This is Imhotep III, 1,390 to 1,352 BCE, possibly from Thebes. The medium is actually wood. All right. Charles Edwin. Okay. Photo. All right. Here you go. So it says our collection, because I want to give credence to what the goddamn Brooklyn Museum, right, is talking about. It say our collection of ancient Egyptian art, one of the largest and the finest in the United States, is renowned throughout the world. The galleries for the unparalleled collections have been reorganized and reinstalled. Yeah, there's a new sheriff in town. Watch this. Let's see what they start off saying about who the Egyptians are. It says the ancient Egyptians were an indigenous African people who first appeared in the South, Upper Egypt, Nile Valley, by 4,500 BCE and spread northward to Lower Egypt. So the mistake that Reggie and them always make, and everybody else, and Jabari, they don't actually read this sentence right here. Because it's here. The ancient Egyptians were indigenous African people who first appeared in the southern Upper Egypt, Nile Valley, by 4,500 BCE. So there's no Ankh talking about they coming from somewhere else. All that nonsense that Sekou and them niggas said. It's a lie. This damn near 2 years ago. I didn't need Sekou and them on Sunetta Channel with the extra cheerleading, the champ is here foolery, throwing in, trying to help push the wild narrative that Ankh some kind of way say that these people are non-continental Africans because I'm saying they're not black, because I understand how anthropologists talk about the situation to avoid the term, the complete foolery confusion term. How you can never get no clarity by calling them black. I didn't need Jabri and them to dive in and act like I was saying some shit I never was saying. That's why they fools, because they are liars. This is what I've always said right here. You can read it. I always understood how Upper Egypt, you know what I'm saying, was the southern portion of Egypt. And I also understand that people in Upper Egypt are going to be, specifically in the southern portions of it, are going to be more closely related to the populations that's closer to them, and how people in the quote-unquote Delta, although still Egyptians, are going to be closely related or look like people just closer to them. Like, that's called evolution. That's an easy process to understand. So I've never been outside of that. That the river is 4,100 miles. That's longer than the damn United States. You can take the river, the Nile River, across the United States and come halfway back again. It's moving through different ecological zones. Let me finish.
Oh man, we just killed T-Fex. We heard the conversation. Watch this. Joined over 5,000 years by other Africans from Nubia and Libya. Then he hit you with the, as well, Semites, Persians, Greeks, and Romans. So these Semites, Persians, Greeks, and Romans are considered non-African. But they clump the Egyptians with who? With the Libyans and the Nubians. I see nothing about North African, all that bullshit. I'm gonna read it one more time because I'm easing into it now. And everybody heard everybody's stance. And they talked me to death for about a year and a fucking half. Ancient Egyptians were an indigenous African people who first appeared in the southern Upper Egypt, Nile Valley, about 4,500 BCE, and spread northward. Key word there, y'all. Spread northward to Lower Egypt. Joined over 5,000 years by other Africans from Nubia and Libya. Boom. As well as Semites, Persians, Greeks, and Romans. Okay. Here we go. Let's get it in. Now, I just wanted to touch y'all Negro pins up just a little bit. Just a little something. Now, let's go to the exhibit.
Wait, Bobby Banger.
What you need? What you
Bobby Banger. In order to see this Bobby Banger, they have to go to the Brooklyn Museum and buy a ticket.
Can I respond to that, or?
No need to respond.
Okay, so Reggie,
we don't want to hear you.
Reggie has to be quiet until you finish. Also,
we don't want to hear your excuses right now because they said the population flowed north.
Clarification.
Listen, bro, ain't no clarification there. It's so clear to everybody listening right now. We heard what you said. They said that population went northward, bro.
It totally agrees with what I've been saying.
Okay.
I want to ask a question. Are you?
Interesting. Let me keep going. I know Sosa gonna ask a good question. Let me see.
Are you saying that?
Now, this is just, you want to jump out there? Jump.
I want. It's just a question, bro.
But wait a
Are
minute.
you
I thought
saying?
can I clarify something first?
Go ahead.
Ankh got his mic muted or something wrong.
I'm listening.
Okay. So what you just read is everything I've been saying. What you just read said that ancient Egyptians first started in northern Africa in Egypt.
It's not what it said. It said the South.
No. Listen, I'm just
hold on.
paraphrasing.
So I'm gonna give you a chance to change your stance now, because you said they came in from the Mediterranean.
All I got out was a sentence.
Hold on, but
I gotta get out two sentences.
You said they came in from the Mediterranean.
Yes, I did, Doc. I'm trying to clarify.
But that. All right. So that see a lot of confusion. So in 1 minute you think he's just saying like they started in actually North Africa. So y'all hear him saying, they say, yeah, Chief. So yeah, it's in North Africa. It's in Northeast Africa. You hear him saying that. And then I got to clarify and say, yo, you said they came from the Mediterranean. See the confusion? Now we got that confusion term about what the Mediterranean is. So if he was simply saying that the coast of Northeast Africa is in the Mediterranean, when we hear him say it, we thinking he's saying that he's talking about Mediterranean people. We all know what the hell Mediterranean people is. We know there's a difference. We know that people in the Delta, right, will start to resemble Mediterranean people. We know that. And see, we also know that people in the South, in Egypt and the south of Egypt, you know what I'm saying, are going to look like those Southern people. We know that. So the question is, where did the actual population come from? Did the population come out of the Mediterranean, farther north, or did the population come out of where? The population actually came out of the Green Sahara. That's what it is. You got north, south, east, west, western deserts, right there. Where the Sahara is, that's where the populations actually came from. So you can get very confused. Let us play it back again. Watch how confusing the whole thing. Watch it just a little bit. Slow the tape down. You can correct everybody's mistakes. My mistakes, their mistakes. We can correct everybody's mistakes because we're growing, right? All right, hold on. Do he really mean North African or do he mean Mediterranean? North Africa is the Mediterranean. Yeah, shit. All right, man. We'll explain it then. Then we got people explaining, well, when we say Mediterranean, we mean that Africans went to the Mediterranean and brought culture to the Mediterranean. That's totally different than just how now Mediterranean. Y'all remember all that, right? Now, this is just, you want to jump out there? Jump.
I want. It's just a question, bro.
But wait a minute.
You saying?
Can I clarify something first?
Go ahead.
Ankh got his mic muted or something wrong.
I'm listening.
Okay. So what you just read is everything I've been saying. What you just read said that ancient Egyptians first started in northern Africa in Egypt.
It's not what it said. It said the South.
No. Listen, I'm just paraphrasing.
So I'm gonna give you a chance to change your stance now, because you said they came in from the Mediterranean.
All I got out was a sentence.
Hold on, but
I gotta get out two sentences.
You said they came in from the Mediterranean.
Yes, I did, Doc. I'm trying to clarify.
But yes, I did. I'm trying to clarify you. No, they said they came. All right, then. Come on, man. Too much bad blood, too much confusion, yo. We can get this shit straight, yo. We don't gotta do all that, yo. And that's from everybody. That includes me. I'm not putting myself outside of it. But I don't like when people say they're indigenous Africans and then explain them in a Mediterranean vein. And that is the confusion.
Recording in progress. Who's BB? That's Bobby. Oh, that's Bobby Banger. All right, that's fine. So yeah.
That didn't say that though. But
no, it needs clarifying because you're misreading and miscomprehending. You're miscomprehending. Slow down. Yeah. You're miscomprehending. Yeah. Let me clarify. It's saying that ancient Egypt started in the north, which is Egypt in North Africa. Okay. It's saying also when the nation state formed, it began to form in Lower Egypt, which is southern Egypt, not Nubia. Okay. So people had been floating around there for thousands of years before they formed. So Narmer unified Upper and Lower Egypt. He unified all the North Africans. He unified the Egyptians. Okay. But you're not. The question isn't where they came. Well, no. The question isn't where. Hold on. Let me just finish.
It wrong. It didn't say.
No, I don't have it wrong. I didn't
it
say.
Didn't say it formed in Lower Egypt.
No, they're saying. Listen, they're saying when Egypt began, it was pre-dynastic Egypt. They're saying when Egypt formed, when it became a nation state,
Bobby
it
Banger,
started down south.
Put the article back up so that the people can
again.
see
and
see if Chief X is
doing
his
normal
bullshit.
So listen to
Here
what I'm
go
saying.
again. Stop. Here go again, Chief
Right.
X. I'm gonna read it again. Ancient Egyptians were an indigenous African people. Y'all like to play with that word, but Reggie, they ain't gonna be able to play with
We all agree with that already.
Yeah, almost. You almost agree.
100%. We all agree with that. We said at the beginning.
Okay, African people who first lived in southern Nile Valley. Then they just put Upper Egypt, not Lower Egypt, bro. Do you get this? It said Nile Valley.
I just explained it.
No, you said. Lord.
I said Egypt formed and jumped off in North Africa, which is Egypt.
Is it Lower Egypt or Upper Egypt, my nigga? Where did it form at? In
it
Lower
formed,
Egypt.
And I tried to clarify, but you guys began to talk. It formed with Narmer, unifying it.
In Upper Egypt or Lower Egypt?
Oh my God. It formed with Narmer, unifying Upper and Lower Egypt, which is both still
So, why not say Upper Egypt? There's a reason why he won't say Upper Egypt, yo. I don't know why. It's a reason why he won't say Upper Egypt. Because he know the Upper Egyptian population is a little different than the Lower Egyptian population. They still all end up being Egyptians, right? But the population is a little different. And that's what people mess up. We got palettes that clearly show, right, that the Lower Egyptians, they're a little more, a little more rambunctious, a little, not rambunctious, a little more curly head dudes getting beat up. And we got pictures of them. We actually got pictures of them. Let me show y'all something right here. This is something that nobody ever talks about. It's called the Battlefield palette. This is something we've been talking about. Yeah, we've been talking about this shit for years. Here, we want to go to is actually a cosmetic palette. We can go to let's first get to the I would like to go to the British Museum first. Here you go, look. These are Lower Egyptians. Right here, look. God damn. Y'all see that? See? It's the battlefield palette. All right. Presumably, the Lower Egyptians. There you go. Right there on the palette. Same traditional style with the eye, the front, everything, the hands, everything. That's how they've been doing that since prehistoric. That's the battlefield palette. Let me come to maybe a little better picture of it. All right, I just wanted to go to so people cry about the Wikipedia shit. This is both sides of the palette right here. See? See, y'all can see that. See? It's right there. All right. All right. See? That's the Upper Egyptians. Upper Egypt. There you go. This is when they was getting conquered by the Lower Egyptians. I mean, my fault, by the Upper Egyptians. And so obviously before it was Egypt, it was populations of people, right? And a war broke out. The shit wasn't Egypt, yo. Matter of fact, these two groups speak two different dialects. Not a different language, but a different dialect. Okay, so this is the picture of what will become Egypt. You got groups of populations, bro, that end up unifying, and from time, and they would go back and forth when it wasn't unified, and then it would be, and then it wouldn't be. It's a wild scenario. Nobody actually shows you this though. But these are still Africans, right? They're just the Africans that are closer to the Mediterranean. It's right here in front of your face. And let me see if I can find the. Let me see. I think I might be able to do something a little bit. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can go ahead, maybe. See if I can find this for y'all. Because we've been, shoot. Man, pattern fringe dressing. It's an interesting outfit right there. Let me see if I can find it. What I want to find for y'all real quick. Damn, my dang on computer cut off. Something I want to kind of show y'all real fast. Oh, man. By the way, these are actual makeup palettes. They're cosmetic palettes, by the way. This is another one. The Hunter's palette. It's all interesting here, ain't it? No, I can't call that. 1 second. I ain't even sure. Hold on, let me get here, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. What am I trying to find? Man, I'm gonna have to go to the. Let me go here. 1 second. Go to my history real quick. I want to find this because this is important. Then I'm gonna close the segment. I'm at an hour. I just wanted to do an hour in here, and I wanted to show you where I had to start realizing I can't even say the word black. Don't dare say it. Oh. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shoot. No, hold on 1 second. I want to find this important before I close the stream down. Then in about 25 minutes, I'm going live. I'm gonna play the other Jabari part. I ain't finished with Jabari. I'm just getting started. And I don't want to do the black top product. No, I don't. Damn, I want to do the no. Oasis. Let me see. Prehistoric Egypt. Do I want to do the prehistoric Egypt? Nah, it's just shoot. I want to do the different periods. Oh man, I think this is it. Hold on, y'all. Let me get here for y'all. Okay. Real quick before I get up out of here. Here, let me share the screen. Let me show you how this is working. All right, so we got kind of like a mental picture of what those lower Egyptians would have looked like, right? Kind of showed you, right? And I talked about being closely related. So here you go. So you got these different cultures in the Fayum, Lower Egypt, Fayum culture. Watch this. Continuing expansion of the desert forced an early ancestors of the Egyptians to settle around the Nile more permanently and adopt more sedimentary lifestyle during the Neolithic. They say the period from 9,000 6,000 has left very little in the way of archaeological evidence around 6,200 Neolithic settlements around all over Egypt. It says some studies based on morphological, genetic, and archaeological data have attributed these settlements to migrants from the Fertile Crescent in the Near East, returning during the Egyptian and North African Neolithic, bringing agriculture to the region. We talked about that. It say morphologically, post-cranial data has linked the earliest farming population at Fayum, Meridi, and El Bari. Y'all remember that term? I was arguing with Jabari, right? It says to the Near Eastern populations. Now, Christopher Eric says no, it's not so. So I want y'all to get all the views so we can bring this thing home. It says to the Near Eastern population. It says the archaeological data also suggests that the Near Eastern domesticates were incorporated into a pre-existing foregoing strategy and only slowly developed into a full-blown lifestyle. Finally, the names of the Near Eastern domesticated and imported into Egypt were not from Sumerian or Proto-Semitic loanwords. They say, however, here's another view. However, some scholars have disputed this view and cited linguistics and physical anthropology, archaeological, and genetic data, which does not support the hypothesis. See, it's an hypothesis, right, of a mass migration from the Levant during the prehistoric period, according to historian Williams Stibblings and archaeologist Susan N. Helft. It say this view post that the ancient Egyptians are the same original population group as Nubians and other Saharan populations. It says with some genetic input from Arabia, Levant, North Africa, and Indo-European groups. And see, I agree to this. See? Who have known to have settled in Egypt during long history. It say, on the other hand, siblings and health not acknowledged that genetic studies of North African population generally suggest a big influx of Near Eastern population during the Neolithic period or earlier. It say they're also added that there only have been few studies on ancient Egyptian DNA to clarify the issue. So first of all, there is not even no daggone consensus on the DNA evidence. Let's get that straight. Weaving the evidence for the first time during the Pharaoh period, people of this period, unlike later Egyptians, this is important, buried their dead very close to and sometimes inside of the settlements. So they burial areas was near where they lived at. Now, this is important. As you go further south, that didn't happen. When you're in Khartoum, that doesn't happen. When you're in southern Egypt, that doesn't happen. They have graveyards. I talked about the city of the deads. They had city of the deads before the city of the livings. Had these massive graveyards in those areas. They wasn't burying themselves within their own settlements. They had a whole different thing. That's important for y'all to understand that, how these populations come together and form Egypt, right? We look at burial practices. Although the archaeological site revealed very little about this time, an examination of many Egyptian words, city provides hypothesis called Egyptian sedimentarianism. In Upper Egypt, terminology indicate trade, protection of livestock, how grain, and flood refuge. All right, let me go ahead real quick. Run this down. The Mediterranean culture so far only, hold on, large settlement. Want to get you what they was using: cattle, sheep, goat, wheat, sorghum. All right, hold on, side. Here we go. The first lives of the many people buried their dead within a settlement and produced clay figures. Once again, look at where they burn their dead at. Where they living at, that's where they burn their damn dead at. You also can go to Jabal Tepe, and these people buried people in their house where they lived at. So you got people in the Levant, right? In Jabal Tepe, they actually buried their ancestors in their house, right? You can see that in Lower Egypt, these people buried their people right around their settlements. Okay, all right. The El Amara culture, all these are different cultures. The El Amara culture, a small settlement near Cairo. Okay, you know Cairo is in Lower Egypt. People seem to have lived in huts, but only post holes and pits survive. It say the pottery is undecorated. This is important. Looking at their wares, they wasn't using decorated pottery. Okay, I want y'all to make a mental note. Now, the Mandi culture. The Mahdi culture, also called the Buto Mahdi culture, is the most important Lower Egyptian prehistoric culture, dated about 4,000 to 3,500 BCE. And this is right here. See the picture, remember? This is the battlefield. It says The prisoners on the battlefield pallet may be the people of Buto Madi, culture subjugated by the Egyptian rulers of Nakada. Remember I showed y'all that? These are your lower Egyptians, right? And they're said to be what? Subjugated by the upper Egyptians. They ain't had no love for each other in these time periods. They unified the nation. End up getting unified through war. All right, once again, the prisoners of the battlefield palette may be of the Buto Mahdi culture subjected by the Egyptian rulers of Nakada. So how did they live? What was their lifestyle? Let's see what type of wares they use. When I say the word wares, I'm talking about pottery. The culture marked by the development of agriculture technology follows precede cultures. Copper, let's see. All right, here says the pottery is handmade. It is simple and undecorated. Presence of black top red pottery indicate contact with Nakada sites in the south. So this pottery right here is what you would find in Nubia, is what you would find in Upper Egypt. Now remember, pots don't mean people, because you can trade and get pots from a people. But if you look at the black top pottery, is a specialized type of Egyptian pottery that was found in Nubian archaeological sites, including Elephantine and islands on the Nile, not the Playa in the Nubian desert, and Kerma in the present Sudan. All right, so this is how these cultures coalescing, right? When you're talking about Upper Egyptians, right? When you're talking about Nubia, when you're talking about Khartoum, right? They have basic similar burial practices with these graveyards, right? And so when Jabri was on something, that is talking about, I'm talking about they come from the Mediterranean some damn where. Like, you teach me something, nigga. I've been talking about this for years. What you talking about? You're lying, dog. If we can just settle down and have a conversation and not be in battle mood all the time, all of us can work this shit out. I play a role in that. I ain't tripping. But I know it's better if we all settle down. I can really get my shit off. How long I've been saying this? How long I've been talking about the black top pottery? Long time. Click that damn button, the black top pottery. Black top pottery is a specialized type of ancient Egyptian pottery that was found in Nubian archaeological sites, including Elephantine Island, Nile River, not the Playa, in the Nubian desert of Kerma in present-day Sudan. This type of artifact predominantly to pre-dynastic period, but a handful of examples made in early dynastic period. And the old, guess what? Y'all know what the oldest black top pottery is, right? In Naphtha Playa. So here's a map right here. You see Elephantine, Naphtha Playa, and Kerma. These are closer to each other. Y'all see that, right? Here you go. The first appearance of black top pottery is seen in Naphtha Playa, dating 5,810. A period of increased aridity, climate shift caused changes in mobility and interaction between groups. Categorize innovation in pottery production. That's some groundbreaking shit to pottery. But the oldest such is found in Naphtha Playa, and I'm telling you, Kerma and whatchamacallit. So I'm gonna end with this, and I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna end with this, but I'm gonna pick up right here. Let you know, Jabri have been lying the whole time. You know how long I've been teaching this? The cultural convergence of the Neolithic Nile Valley and prehistoric perspective on Egypt, place in Africa. You know how long I've been talking about that? Now, y'all not gonna understand this map, but I'm gonna bring. See this map right here? Looks kind of familiar with something I've used before, doesn't it? It gives you the different sites: Nubia, Eastern Desert, right? Let's see. El Gaba, Golte, all this is in Nubia. See these sites? Look at that line right there. That's 7,000 years ago, right? They're showing you the cultural convergence. When you guys start to go back 7,000 years, right? You'll find some type of cultural continuity between the Upper Egyptians and the people that's in Nubia and also in Khartoum. So I'm going to show you this picture right here. This is grave goods right here. I wish I could make this bigger for y'all. I'm gonna come back and do a detail on this, y'all, and just catch what I'm talking about here. Then I'm gonna read right here. These are different grave goods. See those pics and stuff like that. So you find these similar grave goods in these areas that are coalescing with each other. This is pre-Egyptian times. This is a little snapshot for y'all. This is actual archaeology right here. It's a little snap for y'all to let you know that why would Sekou and Jabri and all them act like something I'm saying? Nigga, I've been talking about this for years. Been talking about the grave goods. Grave goods ain't got nothing to do with how people look, but we talking about the culture. Right? We talking about Upper Egypt. We talking about how that coalesced with Nubians. We already know the Nubians got an Indo-European mix to them. In ancient times. That's not what stopped them from being African. So you got what you would consider sub-Saharan African, which I don't like the term because you start finding in books around 1970s, right? That are numerous in Egypt. That's why Chief X still owe that damn money, depending on how you want to classify the shit. All over Egypt. So there's never been a time where what you would falsely classify as sub-Saharan African not being in Egypt. That's ridiculous. And the people in southern Egypt don't need mixing from people in Nubia to have brown or dark skin. That's not true neither. And the people in northern Egypt, lower Egypt, don't need people from the Mediterranean to give them light skin. Don't need them. Could, but don't need them. So yeah, it's a complex picture, but I'm gonna end on these grave goods right here. Cultural convergence, right? Grave goods, El Dabari, burial. As that word again, El Dabari. Above graveyard palette, clay, groups, petals, hippopotamus, ivory, string beads, fragment hippopotamus, ivory bracelets, photo courtesy of Petrie Egyptian archaeology. Remember this man, right? Windgrove. For our next show, I'm gonna be doing this about an hour. Remember that word Windgrove. So we can see what Ankh been teaching for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Same shit. I ain't bringing up nothing new. Windgrove. I ain't bringing up nothing new. Right? When I start, let me see. The body cultures. Richmond Malay, primary pastoralist communities, 5,000. Jabal Ramallah. Y'all probably know what that is. That's near not the playa. All right. Let's see. We just read Madurian Saloon. Hold on. Floodplains cannot be entirely ruled out. Hold on. Upper Egypt suggests the overall pattern of archaeological record in the middle, and Upper Egypt suggests instead of a low-level cereal farming. So you're talking about cereal farming. I'm gonna stop right here because there's some details I want to get into with y'all, and I don't want to mess that up. All right, so I'm gonna play the last video we did. Yeah. What's good, Christopher? What's good, brother? Oh, the August is definitely going somewhere. What's going on? What's up with you, Hits? How you doing, man? Pan-African James mad, yo, because his geneticists beat him up. Shut up, boy. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna get off right now. I got something to do. I'll be back in 20 minutes, man. All right, and we're gonna play the whole video, right, with Jabari and me, and we're gonna have that conversation, man. I appreciate everybody coming through, right? Make sure y'all support, hit them cash apps, man. We got a from the brother UK. Appreciate you, bro. All right, appreciate that donation, man. And I appreciate everybody coming through, yo. All right. I'll be back in about 20 minutes, man. I'm gonna be on fire, yo. We're gonna start with the grave goods, and we got it. With that, man, I'm out. Black African Power, man. Community skeptics, man. Killing them.